Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining YouTube in the Classroom. This is another day of GEG APAC Weekend 5.0, the fifth time we've done this. We've had sessions in multiple languages from people all across the Asia-Pacific region and the world, which is quite cool. This session is on YouTube in the Classroom. Now, this session is not about making you a YouTuber. Mind you, I do have a slide deck and some guidance on how to do that. So I think I will actually put that slide deck in the comments. I've got, animations and things like that, but this is not what we're going to be doing today. But I do find sometimes people ask. So I'm just going to say, check this out. But this is not the slide deck that we're going to be using today. It's got animations. It teaches you how to create like a YouTube channel and that kind of thing. I'm going to share with you the slide deck that we're going to use today, because today we are going to be talking about YouTube in the Classroom. And hey, Mel, great to see you. And yes, I do share all my slides, and please feel free, anyone, to copy them, use them. I don't need credit, but I think it is good to say, like, hey, this is not my slide deck. I changed it a little bit, but somebody else put the time and the effort into it. But you don't need to say my name. And Rio says, Mel, are you still alive? All right, folks, let me share my screen, and we're going to kick off YouTube in the Classroom, where I can hopefully give you some ideas. I mean, some are original, some are, you've probably seen done before and that kind of thing. But hey, it's YouTube, right? Just like way cool. Here, let me get a drink of water here. And Mel is creating a Wakelet. Very cool. Share it with the world, right? And yeah, Wakelet is great. Instead of a slide deck, why not use Wakelet? I've seen people do that before as well. And I've got some dust on my glasses. All right, folks. So YouTube in the Classroom, here's some tips for you. We'll see how long this is going to go. Very quickly, my name is Nate. I teach DP history and individuals and societies at Nagoya International School in Japan. I do some ed tech consulting on the side, lots of stuff with GEG and Google and Adobe and all that kind of stuff. You don't need to, hear much more about me, but do keep in touch. Grab me on Twitter. Have a look at the YouTube channel that I've got going and that kind of thing. But you've got the slide deck, so we don't need to talk about that right now. So this session originally was a little bit more about, YouTube for distance learning and that kind of thing. But really, YouTube, whether we're learning online or learning in the classroom, or we've got a flip model where kids are working at home, so many different ways we can use YouTube. And the point of this is to give you some other ideas, right? And yes, you're not here to become a YouTuber. Don't worry about that. You do not have to be an advanced user of YouTube. We will talk briefly about YouTube and education. I am going to show you some features that you may or may not know, depending on how frequently you use YouTube. We will talk a little bit about screencasting, but this one right here, ideas. That's the main focus for today. And let's see, Mel says she's collecting things from the English sessions and going to put them in a Wakelet. So, hey, when you do, please share that with us, and we'll tweet that out. Thank you very much. I think some interesting stats. These are about 2 years old now, but like 100 countries, 80 languages at least, and 1 billion hours every day. That's YouTube. That's crazy. 15 to 35-year-olds in the United States. I know we're not all in the US here kind of thing, but it is kind of a powerful stat. 77% of kids 15 or people 15 to 35 use YouTube, and 40%, almost half of when we watch YouTube, half the times it's on a mobile. That's interesting. So check out those sources kind of thing. My friend Kim Randall in the United States and California put this together. I'm not going to go through this, but, have a look, right? Computer use, 12 to 18-year-olds, 56% of their use with the computer is for homework, right? That's crazy. Let me just pour my water here. By the way, folks, in the comments, I've got my trusty little phone going here. Tell us where you're from, who you are, kind of get to know each other, and please share your ideas, because that's what we're here for. Let's see. All right, so I am going to jump out of the slides deck very quickly, and I'm going to pull up YouTube. All right, so you can access YouTube by clicking on your waffle, as some people like to call it. And just wait for that to load here. Okay, and if you go up to now, just to show you a few things here. Now, this is kind of like your landing page, right? And you've got your subscribe button, library, your history, and that kind of thing. Here you've got your playlists. Sometimes people do actually have a hard time finding where's that playlist kind of thing. Well, here you go. Now I'm in my private account right now, so there's nothing really crazy special in here. I've got other stuff in my other account that I use more. But what you're going to do, if you create, by the way, just to let you know, you got to click the upload video button here, and where it says go live, yes, you can broadcast directly from YouTube. We do find StreamYard is easier to use, so that's why we use it. But if you click here and then choose your channel, or if you want to switch an account, if you have more than one channel, you can do that. But here I'm just going to click on your channel. Excuse me. And I really don't use this account, so I'm not sure why people are subscribing, but let's go into manage. Well, actually, let's not go into manage videos just yet. Let's go to yeah, let's go to global GEG. Hey, that's a cool place. All right. All right, so we're in global GEG. Let's have a look at some of the things that we might want to do here. Let me go back to my deck so I know, I keep an eye on what we're doing here. Yeah, okay, let's go to filtering, right? So let me go back to YouTube, actually. We'll come back to global GEG Global, which is actually global GEG on Twitter. So let's say I'm looking for a history video kind of thing, right? Let me go with history, ancient Rome, kind of thing. Okay, so here I've got my ancient Rome, videos, but I want to use the filter feature. I want to, yeah, Mel says, yay, global GG, I'm in. I want to use the features, the filter features here. When I click on that, if, you can really narrow down what you want to do, like ancient Roman history, right? I mean, that's a really, really big topic. So for example, I could look for videos that have been created just in the last month, and so there we go. All right. So let me go back to my filters here. I'm going to take that one off though. Go back to my filters. Let's say I want something under 4 minutes. We like to keep things short, right? Human beings and our attention spans. So I click on the filters. Let's go with a 360 video. So let's click on that. And so now I know that this video, is going to be in 360 degrees. And I'm going to be a bit of a smart aleck here. Let's go with the ancient Roman toilets, because yes, there are ancient Roman toilets, and yes, you can find a 360-degree video. Hold on, let's get that in there. Yeah, there we go. So you can actually look at an ancient Roman toilet in 360 degrees on YouTube just by using the filter features. And yes, hey, Drez, Mike in New York, Buffalo. I think you're still in Buffalo, I assume, Mike. It is so good to see you, man. Thank you for jumping in. Mike Drezik, everybody. You got to get this guy on Twitter. Mike, please throw in your hashtag or where people can find you on Twitter, please. This guy's got lots of cool stuff going on. We presented together on Flipgrid in Minneapolis about 4 years ago. Coolest guy ever. So share your contact, Mike, and then I'll do that later. All right, so we filters. Yeah, we've had a look at that. Let's playlists I think are kind of a cool idea. So here I've got some playlists. Now, the one thing that I do, let's go with, I'll just go with 360 degrees. Okay. I was going to, let's not go with that one. Oh, you know what? I'm going to show my nephew because he's just really cute. Okay. He's a little bit older now, and I do have permission to put this up there, but playlists are a good way to put, videos for a single class or a single unit. And Mike is in Buffalo. And please let people know where to find you, Mike. So playlists, it's funny. it's kind of simple to do, but people don't often think of putting a playlist for a class or a unit together. Um, and they are pretty simple to do it. In fact, maybe what we'll do is take those ancient Roman videos and really quickly make a playlist. But the value of a playlist is that you can, order videos and reorder videos just by clicking and dragging. You can edit the title really quickly and things like that. And it's easy to share just with the share button, right? You click on that, boom, you've got all these videos in one place. Now here's a tip. What I do every year is get the students at the beginning of the year in my class to fill out a Google form, and I get them to send me the actual link to a YouTube video. And then I turn those links of music they like, and I create a playlist with it. And then all year long, it's that class, like 9G, for example. It's a YouTube playlist, and when we're in the classroom and they're doing background independent work, or even when they're doing group activity where we're being a bit noisy and I want some background music, I don't use my music, I use theirs. Google form, YouTube playlist, and it just creates kind of a nicer atmosphere, and that kind of thing. So let me just quickly go with the Roman toilet thing here. Let's just go with ancient Rome. We can get off the toilet thing here. So here's the idea. So I've got my videos. Let's assume I like all these videos. I can click here and I can save to watch later, or I can save it to a playlist. So Ancient Rome 101, I can just click right here, save to playlist, and I'll click on Ancient History. And then I can tap out and it's going to be there. Or if I want, I can create a new playlist. So let's actually do that. I'm going to click Create Playlist. I'm going to give it a name. And I'm not going to make it private. I'm going to make it unlisted so I can share it with people. And I'm going to click Create. Okay. We're going to get to some other ideas in a minute here if this is too elementary for people. Okay. So I've got this one video. Okay, let me just kind of pause that a little bit. We don't need to hear this, but this is a TED Ed animation. TED Ed animations are fantastic, by the way, people. Okay, so I'm going to go in here, and all I have to do is click on the icon here, the plus icon, and then I'm going to choose where that playlist is. Let's see, Ancient Rome, Ancient History. Let's take out Ancient Rome, and I can see here that it's been added to my playlist. Now, there are other things here. I like to use the closed captioning, for students that, they're visual learners. Maybe ELL students need to look at some of the text to help them out. You got your gear wheel here where you can choose what language you want your subtitles to be in and that kind of thing. Use the gear wheel and play around. I've subscribed to National Geographic, but I think you'd know the subscription button and that kind of thing. And and yes, Mike, we did present together in Minneapolis. That was like ridiculously cool with Flipgrid. Let's see. The removing of insert embed YouTube and Google Slides for students under 18 was a bit of a bummer. I didn't realize that happened for kids under 18. YouTube has made some changes. COPA laws have changed a lot. YouTube is owned by Alphabet, owned by Google, and it's based in the US. So whatever laws go there affect all of us. All right. So anyway, we're going to keep going on here. We've talked about the subscribe button. Yes, the audio library, everybody. Okay. So YouTube audio library, just Google it. It's a world of awesomeness. Now remember, this is not YouTube music. It's the YouTube audio library. What is the audio library, you ask? The YouTube audio library is a database of copyright-free music that you can use and your students can use in videos and things like that. Now, you should be citing where you get your music. And there are other places like Bensound, for example, where you can get royalty-free music, and you can use in your videos. I love the YouTube audio library. Everything's instrumental here. The filtering tool is fantastic. If you see my videos with background music, they all come from the YouTube audio library. Excuse me. And I do get my students to use this. So for example, Oh, by the way, you do have like sound effects, and if you've got favorites, so here's like kids playing. I'm not going to play these audio clips right now, but you go and play with it yourself. But for example, you can search by genre. All right, so if I want like alternative and punk, for example, I click on that, click apply. I can keep filtering down though. I might want to go with duration, right? I've got a video that let's see, I want it shorter than say 3 minutes, right? And I click apply. Excuse me, I got a bit of a nose thing going on here. And so now I get all these, and I can just, kind of give it a listen. And down at the bottom, I can kind of scroll, scrub through. That's called scrubbing when you're going back and forth like that. And if you like it, all you have to do is mouse over the end here or click on the download arrow, and you click download, and boom, it's going to go to your desktop. Then you have to move it to wherever you want it. But the YouTube audio library is fantastic. So Gray Flannel is the name of the song by Vans in Japan. Ooh, what a title. I like, or name of an artist. Always cite where you get your images and your music and that kind of thing. But yeah, there you go. YouTube audio library. Way cool and copyright free, but we always say where we got our information, right? If you haven't seen the YouTube audio library before, go for it. Let's see. Let me just pop open the slideshow here. Now, yes, you can download some YouTube videos. Again, you don't want to be illegally downloading things, but once in a while, we are in a situation where we need a video and we can't rely on the Wi-Fi at a school, for example. So, now these are ad blockers that we have here, but this is what I'm talking about right here. You can use KeepVid, for example. Now, remember, for educational use, we're talking here, not downloading videos that you're going to, reproduce or use for entertainment kind of thing. I do think for educational purposes, it's okay to download a video if you're going to use it later. But again, you want to tell your students where you got it from and that kind of thing. We've talked about that. We've talked about the gear wheel. All right. So Google Classroom, for example, I'm not going to jump into this in detail because I think there are other ideas that you might want to hear instead. But please share your ideas in the comments. We've got, especially Mike and Mel have a conversation going on here, which is pretty cool to see. But get to know each other and share your ideas, please. So if you're, for example, something I do every once in a while now, I'm in my private account right now, not my school account, but I might see a 2-minute video that it might not even be about history. I remember posting one about this group of kids playing this instrument in Kenya, and they were just. I posted this video and I said to my students, "What do you notice going on in this video?" And a few of them did point out what I was looking for. They're smiling, they're happy, they're laughing, they're working together, those kind of things. So you can take a quick YouTube video, post it in the stream in Classroom, and get a provocation from your, give a provocation to your students. It's worth that time, even if it doesn't relate to your curriculum. What's going on in this video? Get those observational skills going and help them to be empathetic. We are going to talk about Google Forms and embedding video in a moment. First, though, you noticed when we were searching for, using the filter feature in YouTube, we looked for 360 videos. Well, I think 360 videos really immerse kids in a place. No, it's not as good as being somewhere on your own, but it's still a pretty cool thing to do. And I shamelessly put my own video in here, the story of the 47 Ronin, right? The story about vengeance and revenge and that kind of thing. So I actually went to Sengaku-ji a few years ago, and I took this video of where the 47 Ronin are actually interred, right? And so people can kind of scroll around and, there's me. Oh boy, look at that. It's when my hair was less gray. So again, I do think 360 videos have a lot of value. And there are some pretty cool ones out there, like this one right here. You can get this on Google Arts and Culture, for example. And let me, thanks, Mel, I appreciate that. Please share with the world. Okay, so here, for example, imagine, a kid that can't go to, a museum. Look at this. This is so wild. Watch what happens as the video goes on.
The Romaliosaurus.
Right, the Romaliosaurus. All right, great narration. And water fills the museum. And oh my goodness, it's coming to life. This is done so well. And kids can scroll around and look at the museum, like what's going on with this Maliosaurus, right? Tell me a student's not going to enjoy that. Let me show you another one here. Let's go with I think the space shuttle one's pretty cool. And no, I know you can't hear the audio in this, but that's okay. The point's not the audio here. All right, again, Google Arts and Culture. But what I think is cool about this is these two people, these astronauts, talking to each other in a 360 environment. Let's they're inside the space shuttle and they're microphoned up. And all right, so we're going a little bit slow here. Maybe because I have too many tabs open. No, it can't be that. All right, so let's jump ahead to where they're actually in the capsule. And look at this, these two people kind of having a chat, and they take you on a little bit of a tour inside the space shuttle. This is totally cool, right? So have a look for those kinds of videos. They exist. They're out there. I'm not going to show you all of these. So we do have nature cams, for example. I'm not sure why that's not available at the moment, but you can see bears and animals and things like that in real time, which is kind of neat for kids, especially, well, even adults. Okay, so something that I like about Google Forms, and let me just pull up the actual example here. Okay, let me go with the preview. Yeah, getting a little bit hot here. I might pull out my microphone. Come on now, show me the love. There we go. Okay, so note here I've got written, watch the video at your own pace, right? Think before you respond. Take short notes if you have to. Something I do when I embed YouTube videos in a Google form for students to work with is I put the questions first, right? So that they're looking at the questions first and then they look at the video. But what is nice is that they can look at the video, at their own pace. They're not competing with other people. They've got the questions, they know what they're looking for, and they can submit when they're ready, right? And they can take notes in another doc or, that kind of thing. I know that's not, brilliant and new. It's been done a million times, a billion times perhaps, but it's I think a reminder. And yes, I do have the Moteness. I do love Mote. I do give quick feedback to my students using Mote. Mote, by the way, folks, is a really cool tool. I recommend you use it. In fact, there's going to be a session tonight. Harpreet in India is going to talk about Chrome extensions, and my guess is Mote will be on her list. Mote's way cool. Okay, so we've talked about Google Forms. Let's talk about a Google Doc here. Now, this isn't a very pretty doc, but as an example, you can jazz up your Google Docs a little bit by embedding a YouTube video. Now, for some reason, the YouTube chip, it's called, is not working in Google Docs for me. Hasn't worked all weekend in the schedule. I really don't know why. But I do want to give you an example of if I want to make, excuse me, if I want to make my Google Doc look a little bit nicer, you can embed a YouTube video. For example, let me go back to YouTube, Chrome history. Let's stick with that theme. So let's just click on that. Kind of wait for that. Let me pause it. Yes, YouTube, you're taking up my space. All right, let me just pause this. And we got Mike saying global Ed's chat, a global YouTube live panel for students by students. There's always one on Tuesday, one Tuesday a month. Hey, would love to join that. So put that in the chat, please. Give us a link. Give us a link. Don't just get us excited about it. All right, let's say, for example, I want to take this video. In fact, let me go back here and grab just the thumbnail. Now, sometimes it's kind of hard to actually get the image that you want. Let's say, for example, I want to use this one right here. I'm going to click on that, and I am going to save the image. Okay, let's see, Nat Geo, I'm going to call it. And I want the link as well, right? So let me just kind of copy the link address, right? And I'm just going to quickly go insert image. I'm going to upload the image that I got. Nat Geo. And now what I'm going to do is tap on it, and I'm going to go to the link, and I'm going to apply it. And so now I've got an image that looks nicer than just like a boring text link, kind of like that. In fact, if I wanted to jazz it up, I can, give some border weight, maybe add a little bit of color to it, kind of thing. You choose to do that. In fact, if I want to put in a table, like insert a table, a couple of things like that, I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to put it right there, and text here, maybe it's questions or something like that. And, maybe I want to take out that, the actual table itself. That looks just a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner. So think about that. Yeah, and Michael, please, Mike, please post that link for us. That would be way cool. Okay, we've talked about Google Docs. We've looked at forms. Google Slides, I think, is pretty cool. So here are some examples of, using Google Slides in the classroom. Now, Michael pointed out earlier that for kids under 18, they can't put videos in slides now. That's just completely insane to me. But I will point out Slides Mania. Check them out. They've got copyright-free templates for Google Slides. Lots of good stuff there. Of course, you do want to cite that you got them from Slides Mania. Anyway, check it out. I like making my own stuff. But here is an example of something from Slides Mania where this is just a little bit more playful. It's kind of nice to look at. You might want to think about doing that, where you insert your videos with a more playful background. Yes, April Fool's Day is coming in April. Duh. So I think it might be, that'll be a theme if I'm doing this again down the road, like I was in April this year. Now, here's another example. Sometimes what I'll do, like every single day, I actually project something on the board and let students know, what we're doing. Here are learning objectives today. I do have a provocation. Usually it's a statement or a question, and I get them to talk for about a minute, and then we discuss things for 2 or 3 minutes. Good use of the beginning of a class. But sometimes it's video, right? So here's one that I did with my students, for example, how to spot fake news, because we were talking about misinformation and disinformation. Yes, they are different, by the way. So anyway, I showed this video for 2 minutes. They have the questions on the board. And note here that I've got, a nice little icon that looks kind of like a computer screen, just a little bit different kind of thing. In fact, I'll show you how that's done in just a moment. Right here, there's a really cool add-on. It's called Insert Icons for Slides. It opens up, if you want to, this is about YouTube, not slides, right? But you can change your the color. Let's just go with white, for example, and let's go with YouTube. Let's see if there's my icon right there. That's the one I want. I tap on it, boom, it goes in, and I can resize it and move it around. Just make my slides look a little bit prettier. I know that's not really about YouTube, but it's still pretty cool. Edpuzzle. If you're not using Edpuzzle, you should be using Edpuzzle. Why are you not? So let's have a look. Edpuzzle is a tool. It's free. If you want to assign videos to students and things like that, you're going to have to get the paid version. But the free version, it gives you, the simplicity that you need, but the coolness that you want. So, for example, you notice these little dots right here. That means I've got some kind of action. So if I assign this video to my students, what happens is they'll get like a pop-up that requires that they answer a question and move on. And I've set it so that they cannot skip ahead. So just kind of watch this.
What is more dangerous?
Okay, so just keep going here.
As this video begins, you'll see a map of the globe. Think about where this story takes place.
Okay, so I've just at the very beginning given a command to my students. You're going to see a globe. Think about where this is happening. Right now, I'm not, I'm logged in. I can skip here, that because I'm the owner here. But let's continue.
What is more dangerous to a human being?
And so, the video is explaining. Let's assume that I've walked through, and of course, look for where this is happening. It's North Sentinel Island, by the way.
Touched by modern civilization
Whoa.
for almost 60,000 soon to be direct descendants of the first
Hold on.
humans who emerged from Africa. The
Okay, boom. So now I have a command, right? There's something they have to do. This is an open-ended question. If students are logged in and you've assigned this, then you actually record the responses that they have, and you can give grades and feedback and comments to them actually as well. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm just going to put list, and click submit, and click continue. And they can move on. Just to let you know, though, this is in the Andaman Sea, I believe, in the Indian Ocean. This is this tribe of people that has not been touched. It is the Indian government has made it illegal for people to go on this island. Check out the video; it's pretty cool. And Mel says she likes how you can record directly via the extension. Also, yes, the Edpuzzle extension lets you record straight away. And hey, Harpreet, if you're watching, throw in that extension in your session tonight. Edpuzzle, way cool. Let's see. Here's just an example of using a video where I've got something for students to focus on, right? The CRAP method, right? The currency relevance. It's a source analysis kind of thing. So we don't have to go through that. I do want to point out, why not use a choice board, right? Whether it's in a Google slide or a Google Doc. I've got 3 videos here, all on April Fool's Day. Students can, split up the work, and then they work together in a jigsaw and say, well, my video suggested this, my video suggested that. And then they can see, where there's similarities, what are differences, and then get the best possible information working together. So choice boards, I think, are, why not throw up a doc or a slide and get your video in there in the form of a choice board. Of course, you could do it this way as well. I think this is a little bit prettier than this. And here's a template. You can just kind of copy that if you want to use it. And I check at the top if you just came into this session late, because I've put the slide deck in there for you to copy. All right. Let's see. Here's another thing. All right. So let me open this up again. All right. So now note here in the top right, I have got a YouTube video. It's nice and small so that it's not going to distract my students, but sometimes I'll have a slide deck with maybe 4 different or 5 different provocations, and students get up and they walk around the room, and then when the music plays, that's when they talk to other people. They've got the background music to make it a little bit loud, so that those that are kind of nervous or shy or quiet, they can raise their voice a little bit over the music, to give them that practice of raising their voice, but also they're not really heard, so they're less self-conscious. What I do as well is I put the where the music is from here. For example, I've got some stuff from Africa and South America. And the students can be like, hey, that's kind of a funky beat. Where's that from? Yeah, that's from Kenya, right? So Anyway, here's just another way to use YouTube in the classroom, right? It's not distracting, background music, you know, and again, use music from around the world, right? Get kids curious, like, hey, that's kind of cool. Where's that from? Oh, yeah, it's from Mexico. Cool. Let me jump ahead here. All right, some third-party applications. We've talked about Edpuzzle, actually. I do encourage you to use TED Ed animations. And by the way, if you're interested in starting a TED Ed Student Talks Club, get me on Twitter. I've been doing a TED Ed Club for 5 years now, and it's just the coolest thing. So here, let's click on this link here, and we're going to have a look at a teacher-made example. Like TED Ed, it does have a platform where you can create questions, kind of like Edpuzzle, but you can't stop and force excuse me, students and viewers to stop. But you use a YouTube video, and you've got the watch prompt right here. So you watch, and then you click on think, and it might give you like there might be, I got to sign in here, but you get the idea, right? This one has 8 different questions. And yes, it records responses if people are signed in with an account. A little bit more information, and then discussion. This is where people can have a chat. Notice here there are like 109 different responses to this one in particular. So yeah, TED Ed, have a look at it. It's pretty cool. All right, moving along. We looked at Edpuzzle already. Oh, yes, and I have a tutorial video on how to use Edpuzzle, so feel free to have a look. Whoa, who's that guy? Let me move ahead here. All right. Now, another way you can use YouTube is with Thinglink. I think Thinglink is ridiculously cool. Basically, it uses 360-degree imagery. Let's see. Let's go with Mitsumine Shrine. This is set up by, this guy, Takeru Yamato, a real person that lived, but, still drenched in Japanese myth, which is kind of cool. Let me click OK here. So this is a 360 photo that I took, and you're going to notice that I've got YouTube videos embedded because I took a bunch of different videos of this place called Mitsumine Shrine up in the mountains of Chichibu, a few hours outside of Tokyo, northwest of Tokyo, actually. So, Thinglink, it's a cool tool, and yeah, you can put videos and information and things like that in there. So there's another way that you could use YouTube. And it's linked with Canva now, by the way. Thinglink is another level. I hear that, Mel. All right, now, here's an example of using Padlet. Now, I do honestly get a bit tired of Padlet, but I think it's a really cool tool. But I thought to myself, okay, now I only get 3 pads for free in Padlet now. So how am I going to use these things? Well, here's an example of how I'm using Padlet all year long, but not all the time. So I've got one pad using the map feature, and I call it Now That's Interesting. And what I can do is send it to my students. And now this is a template version kind of thing, right? But basically, a student can think about, if I have 10 minutes left in class, I go, all right, you got 10 minutes. We're going to go to the Padlet, find a place in the world you might be interested in or a topic. So for example, student might tap here and go, Africa, I don't know much about that. And here it's Great Zimbabwe. What's an example of an ancient site? And what does it tell us about the people who built it? So, it gets the kids thinking about other parts of the world, but also, with a provocation that gets them thinking as well. For example, all right, so how a concubine became the ruler of Egypt, right? Who are other women who demonstrate exceptional abilities that we should know about, and what did they achieve? So, the provocations can help kids really kind of grow their minds and that kind of thing. And think about important things like gender equity and giving credit where it's deserved. So that's the way to use Padlet over time. Miro I don't use, but Miro is very cool. Let's see. Do you usually share YouTube on Twitter? I don't know if that question's for myself or for Mike. I think it's for Mike, though, talking about that monthly thing. So, hey, go for it. Please share on Twitter. Let me just, boom. So 3 other ways that you might use YouTube for embedding. Sutori, book creator, Google Earth. I've got 3 examples in here. I've done a session on Book Creator where you can embed YouTube. I do think I'll point out Sutori, because I think Sutori is just a really cool tool, and I think there's still a lot of people out there that don't know it. So, for example, here's one on African American communities that were destroyed by, they're white people, really. So if you scroll down here, you see that's multimedia. I've got images in here, and boom, there is the video. So anyway, it's just a really cool tool that that is multimedia, and you can embed your YouTube videos in there as well. Maybe I will give Book Creator a go, and I will give Google Earth just a real quick look since we're here, right? Why not? All right, so here's the story of Valentine's Day, and if you click, and boom, I've got a YouTube video in there that is embedded. So that's another example of a place where things can be embedded. Let's see, the Google Earth's going to take a while to load, so I'm going to move ahead here. Nearpod, I'm going to skip, but Nearpod is very cool. We don't use it at my school, so I don't want to pretend I'm an expert, but have a look. So let me just jump out of here, because I do want to wind things down. We try to keep these to about 45 minutes. Let's see. And we got the conversation about Miro. Yep. And it is slick. So okay. So writing prompts, again, video analysis. These are some activities you can use. Storybook readings. Now keep copyright in mind here. But especially over the pandemic, right? I mean, if you're a teacher where you're reading to kids, you saw some famous people around the world reading, books to children, which I think is a great idea. Get your kids reading. I've had students actually read books for a video library that was a Google Innovator project. It didn't really get off the ground, but we had students reading books, and I took a video of them reading books in multiple languages. So our high school students were, reading books for children in the elementary school in Portuguese, in Korean, of course, Japanese and Chinese and English, Spanish. It was just really cool. French as well. I teach at an international school, so, this is just commonplace, right? Let's see. CoSpaces VR worlds. You can embed YouTube now. I did not know that. Very cool. And keep sharing those things, because they're things that I don't know, like that. CoSpaces, you can embed. Poetry readings, dramatizations, and things like that. Readers theater. Yes, there are escape rooms on YouTube where there's a prompt for about 1 minute, and then you have a choice. You got to click and go. Making them is, it looks quite daunting, but they exist. They're out there. Let's see. Teaching students to create and add to a YouTube playlist, I think, is important. I think as teachers, it's important to take videos and share them with kids if we have time and we can, so that they can absorb the stuff that might be a little bit too fast for them in the class, right? So, teacher-made videos do not have to be grand, big productions. They can be simple screencasts in a playlist. And, you're probably just being authentic like that. You probably get more subscribers, actually, if you want, not the crap that I make that's overproduced, so to speak. I want to show you this because I think it's very cool. Here's a teacher somewhere in the United States, and when he travels, he makes these 1 or 2 minute videos teaching his students about where he's at, and he gives them a provocation or a prompt. So is CO2 higher in the Arctic or not? So here we go.
Hey, Mr. Graves here.
No, I know you can't hear this, but have a look at how simple this is, right? No big production, just clear audio, and they're engaging with their teacher. Mr. Graves, whoever you are, way cool. And you know what? You can do this on your phone too. You can do the editing on your phone, particularly, use Adobe. All right. Let me jump out of this one. Having students create videos, for example. I'm going to pull out of this. I know I'm jumping back and forth here. It's kind of a pain. Come on now. Having students create videos like, whiteboard animations, for example. This is one where students used, like an online video production tool. This one, they use stop motion. Here's one where students actually, I do like this one in that very simple. We used a document camera, some ELL students taking a video just to show their understanding. And we decided to actually keep it and show it to other students. That's my old learning light bulbs thing here. I don't really like that, but so a Midsummer Night's Dream as told by students in grade 7 who are second language learners. And yeah, we use that to help other kids actually understand the story. And it's safe too. Their faces aren't there. Nice and easy. So our team can't make playlists anymore either. Yes, I know that you have to look at what your students are allowed to do with YouTube now. Unfortunately, here now again, students can create videos, and then that's what I do is I put them on my school account, and then I create playlists that way. A little more work for me, but at least students get their voice out there. And it's in a safe place, the teacher's channel, right? Students doing magic tricks. Here's a kid in India doing a math problem and a magic trick, which is pretty cool. Drama in the classroom. These are my students from my last school, dramatizing Japanese history. Of course, public service announcements. Talking about this one is another PSA. How can we help people in Venezuela? Kind of thing. Not going to get into recording and editing because we are already a little bit over time here. But as a final thing, let's see. Okio Cam a few months ago. I'm not sure what an Okio Cam is. Throw a link in the chat. Now I want to pull up. Oh my goodness, where is Where is my scheduled document? I must have closed that. So what I'm going to do is share with you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, by the way. Let me remove that. Stop sharing the screen. So what I'm going to do is share with you the schedule and a form that you can fill out and get a certificate for participating in this session. Now, my history. Come on now. That's not where I want to go. Just bear with me for one moment here, folks. Let's see. There we go. That's what we want. And and again, yeah, Abha in Vibha, sorry, in India is going to be doing another session on being a smart YouTube viewer. So definitely check that out. You might have some good ideas in there that you can share with your students. Tips for being a smart viewer on YouTube. Now, all right, so there's the form for the certificate, everybody. And I'm also going to just share the schedule with you again, just so you can check out the other awesome sessions that are coming up. Okay, so Vipa is actually presenting now. So, hey, folks, get off of this one. Check out Vipa. I'm going to jump out and jump into that one as well. But remember, you can get a certificate. Thank you for joining me, and enjoy the rest of the day. We have one more day. We will have a closing ceremony going from 5 p.m. JST. We'll get that link to you soon enough. Thanks for joining. Take it easy. Appreciate the comments. Have a great day.